Good morning, students. So let us begin our first chapter of civics. And I hope you might have done the homework of your history chapters. And I had given you two exercises in chapter one, filling the blanks and the true false. If you have not done it, my dear students, once again I remind you, please do it. That you have to do it by yourself. And I have already uploaded the first chapters, exercise A, question answers, history chapter 1 in your lofty homework. So please open it and then check. And then I need you to do that work to complete in your notebook. So today we shall begin here the first chapter of your civics. The first chapter is the Indian Legislature. Now, what is the meaning of legislature? Okay, let us see. The what is Indian? You already know. All are Indian here. So now the meaning of legislature is a group of people who have the power to make and change the laws. This legislature is called the person who has the power to make or to change the laws of a country. Okay, so we shall begin. India is a union of states. Okay, now I should give you a little definition about it. Please listen carefully. The Constitution of India has established the federal forms of government in India. Okay, therefore, it's called a union of states. Why it is called? I already just now told you. Why? The Constitution of India has established the federal forms of government in India. Therefore, it's called the Union of States. And it has also established 28 states and 7 territories. Okay. Now we shall continue. In India, we have government at two levels. Okay. In India, we have government at two levels. The first one is center and the second one is state. The government at both these levels has three organs. Okay, now the government at these both levels has the three organs, that means the branches. Okay, now the legislature, which are those three branches? Let us see. The first one is the legislature is the branch that makes the new laws. Okay, this the duty of the legislature branch is to make the new laws. And now the second one is executive. Now, what is the meaning of executive? Means concerned with managing, making plans and decision. This branch has the work to give effect to the laws. Okay, it will always be concerned and about managing or making the plans and the decisions. Okay, now the third one is judiciary. Is a branch that makes sure that everything happens according to the law. This is the main duty of the third judiciary, that if he has to see that everything is happening according to the law or not. Now, in this chapter, we shall study about the Indian legislature at the center level and the state level. Okay. Now, we shall have the types of legislature. How many types of legislatures are there? Two types of legislatures are there. Okay. The first one is bicameral and the second one is unicameral. Okay. Now, the first one is bicameral legislature has two chambers, that means houses. The first one is upper house and the second one is lower house. The first one is upper house, the second one is lower house. And the unicameral legislature has only one house. That means the first bicameral legislature has two houses, that is an upper house and the second one is lower house. And the second one, unicameral legislature, has only one house. Okay. Now, after the central legislature, known as the now central legislature, also known as the parliament, is bicameral. It consists of the president of India and two houses of parliament. Okay, its lower house is called Lok Sabha, that means the House of People, and its upper house is called Rajya Sabha, that is a Council of States. The member of the two houses are called the members of parliament, that is MPs. Now, the legislature of a state consists of the government of the state and the house of the state legislature. It may be unicameral or bicameral. In a bicameral state, okay, the lower house is called Vidhan Sabha or the legislature assembly. The upper house is called, the lower house is called as Vidhan Sabha or legislature assembly, and the upper house is called Vidhan Sabha, Vidhan Parishad or the legislative council. Now Andhra Pradesh, Bihar, Maharashtra, Karnataka, Uttar Pradesh. have the bicameral legislature. Okay, that means it has two houses, that is upper house and the lower house. Okay, all the other states legislatures are unicameral, having only the Vidhan Sabha, that means it has only one house. Okay, the members of the legislative assembly are also known as the MLAs, and the members of the legislative council are also known as MLCs. Okay, now we shall study about the lower house. Now the lower house elections. Okay, the people choose their representative through elections. Now the people's duty is here to choose their representative through elections. Now elections are also called polls. Now what is elections called? Somebody asks you what is elections are called, then you can say polls. Elections to a lower house of legislature are usually held once in 5 years. For the purpose of election, the territory of the country is divided into areas. Each called is a constituency. Okay, now territory, region, province. Okay, it is divided into areas. Each called is a constituency. Okay, usually several candidates contest elections from a constituency. The candidate may represent a political party or maybe an independent non-party candidate. Voting is done by secret ballot. Okay, remember that voting is always done by secret ballot. In this system, the ballot vote cast by each voter remains secret. Suppose I am going to put the vote, it is known, it is not known to anyone for whom I have given the vote. Okay, it is secret, only I know. The candidate who gets the highest number of votes, okay, the and it is also secret to the person who for whom I have put the vote. Only at the end of the result they will know. They don't know who has put or not. Maybe they may be knowing, but then while I am putting the vote, they don't know how yes this person has put the vote for me. Now the candidate who gets the highest number of votes becomes the representatives of the constituency of the lower house of legislature. Now it is the Sansad Bhavan where the central legislature holds meeting. Okay. Now after this, who conducts the elections? This is the first question for you to be asked. Who is conducting these elections? Okay, this is the second. So we shall study about who conducts the election. Elections to the Indian legislature are conducted by the election commission. Very simple answer. Now what are the duties of the election commission? Okay, they have to fix the date of elections, mark out the constituencies. Okay, now they have to set up the polling booths where people can cast their votes, and also they have to provide the ballot paper and electronic voting machines. Okay, voting machine is called in short for EVMs, okay, through which voters register their choice. The commission then counts. The last final duty of the commission uh, is to count the votes and declare the result. So once again, I explained who is conducting the election. The election is conducted by the election commission, and they have to fix the date and mark out the constituencies and set up the polling booths where the people can cast their votes, and provides the ballot paper, electronic machines for the voters to register their choice. And the last duty of the commission is to count the votes and declare the result. Now the second question is here, who can choose members? Okay, now very easy answer. All the citizens above, those who are above 18, at the age of 18, those who are above 18, all can exercise franchise, that means the right to vote, to elect their, now their full right it is, those who are above 18, they have full freedom, they can choose their representative, and this is called universal adult franchise. The name of those who can vote are recorded in the voter. Now only those whose names are recorded in the voters list only they can vote it. Okay, now the president of India may nominate means appoint, okay, up to two members from the Anglo-Indian community to the Anglo- Anglo-Indian community to the Lok Sabha, if there are not enough elected members to represent the community, then only. Okay, this is a condition there. If there are not enough elected members to present the community. Okay, now the third question is for us here, who can be a member? Okay. Now let us see. To become a member of the lower house of legislature, a person must be a citizen of India. Okay. At least he will be 25 years old, must not be bankrupt or mentally unsound. He should be mentally healthy, okay, and must not hold any government job. Okay, very easy. Read these points. Okay, this is the third question. Now, presiding officer. Now, newly elected members select among from themselves a presiding officer called speaker. Now, newly elected members, okay, those members those are elected from themselves, they have to choose a one more person presiding officer called speaker. Okay, now what is the work of the speaker? We shall read. The speaker conducts the proceedings of the house and maintains order within the house. The speaker's main work is proceeding the house and maintaining the order within the house. At the end of the debate, the speaker may take a vote on issue. Okay, he can exercise his own casting vote. Casting vote means a deciding vote only in case of a tie. Now, other than this, the members also elect a deputy speaker. Now, what is the main work of the deputy? If one who is conduct, the speaker is absent in proceeding of the house, the speaker, then the deputy speaker takes his place in doing the work. Now the upper house. Now we studied about the lower house. Now we shall study about the upper house. And now their election. The upper house is never dissolved. In other words, that means it is not officially broken up after a fixed term to be formed anew. Okay. One third of its members retire every 2 years. So once one third of its members are getting retirement, so there will be surely vacancies. Each member is elected for a term, and now once a member is elected for this term, they will remain till 6 years. Now here question number one: who can choose members? Okay, an upper house has elected members and nominated members, and the elected members are elected indirectly, not directly, indirectly. Now let us read. Elected MLAs, elected members to represent their state in the Rajya Sabha. Now elected MLAs have to elect the persons to represent their state in Rajya Sabha, and representatives of the union territories are chosen according to the rule laid down by the parliament. Let us see in addition, the President of India nominates 12 distinguished men, 12 well honored, well respected persons from the fields of literature, art, science, and social service, etc. Now, who has worked like that? Actress Nargis Dutt, poet Ramdhari Singh Dinkar, and journalist Khushwant Singh have served in the Rajya Sabha as nominated members. This is for example they are saying. But you have to choose the 12 well respected persons in the from the fields of literature, art, science, and social service for this election. Okay. Now, after this, the state legislative council, one third of the members are elected by the MLAs of the state, one third are elected by the members of the local government bodies like municipalities, the district board, and so on. 1/12 of are elected by the university graduates living in the state. 1/12 are elected by the teachers of secondary school, colleges, and universities. The remaining 1/6 are nominated by the governor of the state from among those who have excelled in the spheres of art and social work. Same way. Now, who can be the member here? Now, the second question here is who can be the member of the upper house legislative? Okay. Now, same thing should be a member of India, means citizen of India, and at least 30 years old, must not be bankrupt or mentally unsound. Okay, mentally should be healthy. And the last point is should not hold any government job. Now, presiding officer. A chairman presides over an upper house of legislative. Who is presiding over? The chairman. Now, the vice president of India is a chairman. Who is the chairman here? Now, vice president of India is the chairman of Rajya Sabha. He is an ex-officio chairman because he holds this post by virtue of his office. Now, in his absence, the deputy chairman presides. Okay. Now, suppose he is absent, the chairman is absent. So, deputy chairman will be presiding over the duties. The members of the Lok Sabha elect the deputy chairman from among themselves. The same process as we had read in the lower house. Okay, the chairman and deputy chairperson of a state legislative council are elected by the members of the council among themselves. Okay, now how the legislative works, now how this legislative, how, what are the process of their work, and how do they do their work. Okay, now we shall study. Now legislative has to meet at least twice a year. First of all, they have to held the meeting among themselves twice a year. Each session meeting of the parliament, session means meeting of the parliament, is summoned and also closed by the president of India. Okay, each after each session, the whole meeting about what it was, it will be submitted and closed by the president of India. The meeting of a state legislature are summoned and closed by the governor of the state. Specific time periods are like question hour, 0 hour. Now we shall study are fixed for carrying out different functions. Now these two categories are fixed for carrying the different functions. Now the first question are, what are the function? Okay, now the legislative begins its day with a question hour. Only questions will be there. The members send questions in advance to the various members. The members are sending now questions in advance. Beforehand, they send the questions to the various ministers, and they have to reply during this hour, question hour. Okay. Now the second point is 0 hour. Now during the 0 hour, what they have to do? They have to hold debates on issue of the public interest. The question, the ministers are in advance sending the questions, and they have to reply those questions, and in 0 hour they have to hold the debates on issue of the public interest. Now what are the ordinances? Okay, in an urgent need to pass a law may arise when the parliament is not in session. Okay, now suppose there is no meeting going on, an urgent need to pass a law. Okay, now what will happen? How you can do? In such a situation, the president may issue an ordinance, means an order carrying the effect of a law. Ordinance means an order carrying the effect of a law. However, if the parliament after reassembling does not declare it, suppose they have assembled and they have not declared it, so it will be valid only till 6 weeks. The ordinance declare it, if they have not declared it within the 6 weeks, the ordinance becomes invalid. The governor of a state can issue ordinances when the state legislature is not in session. Again, I read, the governor of a state can issue ordinances. Okay. Now the governor's duty then can issue ordinances when the state legislature is not in a session. Such an ordinance ceases to have effect unless the state legislature after reassembling declares it to be valid within 6 months, 6 weeks. Okay, sorry, 6 weeks. As I said, if it is not declared within the 6 weeks, the ordinance becomes the invalid. That ordinance means an order carrying the effect of a law. And after that, the governor of a state can issue ordinances when the state legislature is not in session. So dear students, please go through this video and learn the about the uh, upper classes and lower classes, about who can be a member, who can choose the members, and about their elections, and who is conducting the elections. Okay, so I wish you all the best, dear students. I hope you might have understood and see the difference between who can be a member. In lower class, the age is mentioned here 25, and the upper classes, the age is mentioned here 30 years. Okay, so don't think that it is same age. So I wish you all the best, dear students. Thank you.